I do enjoy discussion. I do. Now, it was my understanding that this was a discussion. Am I correct?
Correct.
And so I do feel like there is a lot of anger tonight over something that is still a discussion. I do appreciate the fact that we are having the discussion. Trash pickup now, if we do this, so that once a year, the cool one in June where I get half my furniture, is that going to work?
Again, the council can decide, you know, how much they want to do, but one of the ideas would be is that annual June after garage sales would go away, and then it'd be available on a weekly basis if you call in, and then the carrier would come out would be the plan. That's just a rough plan.
Okay. And my wife loves that idea. So do I, so I don't have to clean out the garage every night. And it does give us a chance to do that. Now, I will say this, that I pay what I paid, to have the ability to pay close to around $30 less per quarter. That's a pretty substantial positive for me. I know that there's a lot of people who don't have that. I do have 3 kids, a dog, and a couple cats, and it adds up after a while. The idea of being able to put out one large item every week, I do like that idea. Whether or not we can take it to a vote, I don't know what that looks like. But I do want to thank you, and that's what I wanted to stand up and at least say, is I want to thank you for at least bringing up the discussion. I personally, it would benefit me going to whatever, $21 or $23 a month. It would benefit me personally, and I kind of like that idea of saving a little bit of money. What I feel like there was a little bit of scare tactic put out on this. That kind of frustrated me a little bit the first time I started reading notes, you know, mail coming in and sponsored Facebook ads and things like that. That was the first thing I was like, okay. I don't like that as much. I do like the fact that we have laid out some pros and cons. I would love to hear more discussion about the pros and cons. I would like to hear more discussions about some of the things that were brought up tonight from all of us. Like, what are your thoughts on that? What are some things that you're looking at to answer some of these questions? I'd love to hear more of that discussion going forward, because right now I'm on the fence a little bit, because I do understand the fact that I don't want somebody always telling me what to do, even though it's saving me money. But I do, paying the electric, even though I know we pay higher electric, paying the electric is fairly easy. Paying town and talk to somebody, I don't have to wait on the phone and talk to someone who doesn't know me and doesn't know my situation. And I do enjoy that. So I want to thank the council for talking about this, for bringing this up, and you guys have fun tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
He's my guy, Mr. Unhill. I use James's trash. I don't have trash, so I don't need it. I really don't put that in the back of my truck, drive down the road, and whoops. I wouldn't do that. So it doesn't benefit how low that stuff is. It doesn't benefit me. It doesn't benefit me at all. But I'm not going to say I'm for or against it, because I don't know enough about it. And I don't know I hear a lot of people saying they don't know enough about what you're planning, what you're doing. I hear a lot of people saying, vote, vote, vote. But I don't know. Put something together, let us know. And another thing, that I have the FiberNet, City FiberNet. Why can't we do something like that? You can have the city garbage, and you can have your scooters. But again, like I said, the only thing this is going to do for me is cost me money. If you pass this, it costs me. And, well, it'll save James my trash at his house. Thank you much.
Thank you. All right, did we get everyone in row 6? So anyone on the north side of the room, any more comments on the north side? All right, we'll move to the back, please.
My name's Brian Miller, 712 South Kalamazoo Avenue. As I look at the panel, you're all elected officials, and we elected you, but I don't know of anybody's campaign promise that said better garbage service. We want to make that decision. This is our decision to do. We don't need overreaching government. We have enough of that on the federal level. I came to Marshall in 1985 when I became an adult. I came to this town because it's a small town with a big heart. A town that cares about each other. We don't need overreaching government to step on our toes. I want to remind you, you are elected, and these people are your constituents. We were the ones that voted for you. Listen to us. We want to make our own decisions. The city makes their decisions where they purchase their hardware from. They make their decisions what part stores they go to. And if you challenge me and tell me it's equal, I'll ask you to go back to accounts payable and see how much they're paying to each of these taxpayers. Because I'll tell you, I work for O'Reilly Auto Parts. I've been down to the city garage and seen one part store deliver more parts down there in one delivery than the city's bought from me in the 5 years we've been in business. So it's not a fair play system. It's supposed to be. I've called down there and talked countless times and said, well, we spread this out. No, you don't. Darling's Hardware gets more business than Herman's. Auto Value, Napa get more business than O'Reilly's and AutoZone. And I can challenge you to go to your accounts payable and check those numbers because it's exactly that. But if you can make the choice where you want to purchase things from, we have the choice where we want to go. I've had scooters for 2 years now. Prior to scooters, we had nothing but problems. Cheaper is not always better. We all know this. Cheaper does not make it a better service. I had one problem with scooters. I called them. Somebody was there within the hour and took care of it. That's the kind of service that I want. I don't want you deciding who my service is. I came to this town because it is different. Keep it different from Battle Creek. Don't turn this town into Battle Creek by making decisions for us. There's a lot of things you guys do that are great. I'm not bashing any one of you. I know a few of you on this board. I've voted for a few of you on this board. Don't make me regret that. Because that time will come that I can re-elect, and I will do everything in my power to make sure my vote counts, and I will re-elect somebody that will listen to the people. We are the people of this community. We have our rights, and we don't need you taking away more of our rights. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Paul Schutte, 620 Schuyler Street. Got a couple other little things. First of all, Mr. Mayor, thank you for opening up just for discussion tonight, because what you published says adopted and signed this 3rd day of December 2019, waiting for your signature. That's what you published. So thank you for tabling it. A couple little things. 50.15, C. No person shall set out pickup or cause to be set out for pickup any yard waste prior to 5 p.m. on the date immediately. So if I mow my lawn on Monday, pickup's not till Friday, what do I do with it? We got an extra bin for that, right? Oh, hang on. 50.07, storage of containers. Must be kept on property side or rear yards, in garages, carports, homes, or other structures not in open view of front yards. I have 8 inches on one side of my property and about 4 feet on the other side, right with the neighbors. You want me to drag my stuff around to the back? I have no room for it. I have a 1-stall garage. My wife parks there. No room for this stuff. I have a 30-gallon can that I pay for. That's all the room I have. I have no room for anything else. Good things. Got to be picked up. I didn't even get into 50.06 exclusive contracts because that's really what brought me in here. Like everybody else, it's not how much I'm saving, how much you're charging, what your administrative fees are. You're taking away my choice. I've had excellent service with the contractor that I have for the last, I know I've been in the house 10 years now. I did have a different contractor. I fired him. And I got the contractor I've got now, and they're great. I have no problems with them. You're going to take that away from me, and you're going to give me the low bidder. I don't pay low bidder. I go with the service that I need. When we don't have the service we need, we call the city for the $1.32. Don't know. The contractor I fired is the guy you're going to hire. You know, that's low bid. I have a big problem with it. Give us our choice. Leave the garbage alone. Fix the couple amendments in here. Really? I know people that store their trash cans right in front of the garage. That's the perfect spot for it. Is it an eyesore? I don't think so. There's green cans, there's pink cans, there's black cans. You look fine. It's almost part of the property right there. But by your ordinance, they're going to get a ticket. They're going to get something from the city. They're going to get a knock on the door and say, fix this problem. We're going to dump our yard waste the night before. You're going to have somebody going around? We're going to hire somebody to go around and make sure that this is passed and, is enforced. What if my neighbor puts out his yard waste on Tuesday and it's not till Friday? You can knock on his door and make him pick it up? You could. More enforcement, more government. Not in favor of it. Please, eliminate 50.06. Eliminate it and fix the other ones. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Anyone else from the rear of the room?
My name is Norman Hawker. I live at 416 Whispering Pines. I teach at the Hayworth College of Business at Western Michigan University, and I've spent the last 25 years studying what happens when you remove competition from the private sector, which is exactly what this proposal is. It doesn't matter whether the city acts as their call center for complaints or collects their bills for them. You are removing competition from the private sector, which right now in Marshall is quite robust. And you've heard over and over again how people have had bad service from one vendor and they can switch to another. What is the incentive in the private sector to provide good service at reasonable rates? It's the fact that people can do what many of the people here have told you. The experiences in Albion and Coldwater of lower services, poorer services, actually making up the lost profit margin for the low bid is what I found happens in industry after industry after industry. They always have studies, a battery of vendors, economists, lawyers come in and try to convince the decision maker have competition. Well, then they no longer have competition. You try to cap the rates, no problem. They just provide poor service. And when people start complaining about the poor service, then they have their batteries, lawyers, economists, and engineers come in and lobby you for higher rates. And then they get the higher rates they want, and they don't have to provide the services. Why? Because people can't do what we currently can do and find an alternative vendor. Robust competition is what makes the private sector work. So please keep it robust. I understand there may be some savings on the road, but what you're doing is creating a hidden tax on every resident of this city through higher rates in the long run and poorer service by giving any vendor a monopoly in the private sector. Thank you.
Thank you.
appreciate your listening. I know it's not easy, and you've heard a lot tonight, and I don't have anything particularly brilliant to say other than I've been a customer of more than one of the carriers here, and I am more than willing to pay the higher price to have the best quality carrier.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the rear of the room this evening? We move over to the south side. Anyone on the south wall like to talk?
More, couple technical points, really. This first one, this might be just my ignorance. So apologies if that's for something to that effect that I miss out on anything like that. No? Okay. More technical stuff. If the ordinances are adopted as is, and we've talked about having a single bin for recycling, I do disagree with single stream recycling. It's the economics of it only really worked when China was willing to buy anything we weren't willing to recycle and do it very cheaply. And cities now are having to deal with the fallout from that, from having to build up their recycling program around single stream and now having no longer a source for their cheap plastic disposal. I feel that the county, when they move to their removal to self-service and the sorting of everything, I feel like at this point we've already moved across that pain threshold, and anyone that's still willing to recycle is willing to go through that. And going through that, our materials are actually recycled and the county does make money off of it now. And beyond that, Jack mentioned earlier about leaf pickup. And then the city stated that that was not going away. But earlier the city stated that the brush millage was considered on the chopping block if this goes through. Is there a difference between leaf pickup and brush pickup, or are they one and the same?
Separate.
Right now, the millage that you pay gets three things. The big trash pickup, as we mentioned earlier, the leaf pickup that we're trying to finish if the weather will deal with us. And then in the spring, we do the brush pickup,
Okay.
usually March, April. That's what you just mentioned. That would be part of the weekly yard waste, is what the thought is. The initial plan
Okay.
has been finalized.
So the brush pickup is the spring